I got Bujak, production director, and my name is Kopeć, managing partner at Schloss Brothers. And we would like to tell you.
I will do some small introduction. We are Schloss Brothers, a company which is responsible for all multimedia in the core exhibition in Poland, in the Museum of Polish Jews. I don't know if you had opportunity to get everything yesterday, but if you're not, maybe we will encourage you and show what is important, how it was created, and what we think Christ creation period. We were trying to put it in the subject. The subject is.
So one of the main things that we have to consider all the time is the balance between educational part and the entertaining part of the multimedia. Everybody knows, everybody thinks of multimedia as a toy to play with and to get rid of the boredom in the museum, to get a better, more thorough experience, but mainly in terms of basically having fun, or on the other hand, showing the multimedia as a container that would store as much information as we want to put in there. So basically you have to look for the balance between these two. Let's start with a basic question: why multimedia in a museum? So in a narrative museum, as we said, the multimedia should serve two main purposes. One is the education and one is the entertainment. The education is learning about the subject, while the entertainment should engage the visitor. If you think of Donald Duck, and if you think that he's an exhibit, and if you have a book, it could be basically what we put in a sort of old-fashioned way, some description of Donald Duck. If you look at the film, Disney film, you have a passive projection that engages you more, but what we're trying to do with interactivity in museums is actually to get you to an amusement park, in a way.
Yeah, you can ask yourself a question. It's Jewish museum, right? But Jewish museum, this Jewish museum is telling a story about 1,000 years of Jews in Poland. So it doesn't mean something negative as we were used to think about Jewish museums. It's something different. It shows us life and how people were devoted here, Jews and Poles.
So as this is a museum of life, we were thinking about engaging the visitors. It's just like with getting the knowledge at school. 100 years ago, kids would be lining up on benches, writing down letters. Today, they're mainly drawing pictures, interacting with the teacher, and learning by raising interest in the subject rather than learning it by heart. Another example from outside the museum, the last one, but just to get the entry to the subject. This was an exhibit, and even if you put a note to it with Albert Einstein and a simple explanation of what he did, neither the visitors with least experience nor the ones that are interested in the subject and do have experience will learn much from it. That's why basically we use interactivity. Interactive applications come in very handy when we're trying to talk, we're trying to engage visitors with different levels of knowledge and different levels of interest in the subject. Think of an immersive exhibit description, like this description plate that we showed before, but immersive, which means you can go as deep into the information as you like, if you want to do it. So basically we leave the visitor to decide how deep he wants to go and whether he or she actually does want to see the object or the subject rather than an object. You don't have to have an object or not.
Yeah, this is illustrated book of Catholic clergyman, Thomas Tretter, and we were trying to show it that it's just for everyone to explore it. Children or students from primary school can just look at the picture and explore how beautiful they are. More, if you want to get more to go to the higher level, you can read about each page of the book, and if you want to explore the highest level, you can read about the author, about the book, about every single script there. So it's a very simple way of dividing the way of catching the educational and just the first view of the book.
So the user decides how deep into the subject he or she wants to go and what kind of description is needed. As I said, the user, the visitor decides what he or she wants to see, but not to a certain point we can actually guide. We have the scenography, and we have the presentation that has its home screen, so to say, which is an eye catcher. It's the first glance decides very often whether the user wants to see it or wants to go through it or not really. So actually the designers have a powerful tool to attract the visitor from the first glance.
There's emancipation, there's catchy design. Yeah, you can, it was created like a steampunk period, so there we have a lot of information, but we can choose how to explore it. We can choose the first stage, then we can ask the question for each wound or scenery, and then we can explore the picture, the videos, and know more and more about each level.
So sometimes the visitors don't really know at first glance what the subject is, but just by the way the application looks, raises an interest to go, touch it, and see the subject.
To make it properly for this period, we were even making a lot of trial. It's not visible here, you have to check it on the core exhibition, about the background, about the color of the background, about all details that are unfortunately invisible here, but on the screen you will see it. So it was very precious and very detailed work.
What if you actually do have an exhibit, and the exhibit is fascinating itself? Just like downstairs, there's the roof, the synagogue, which is beautifully reconstructed. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. If you didn't, you should definitely see it. It's really beautifully reconstructed ceiling of the synagogue of Bujak. But you can go downstairs, you can see it, and you can see the beautiful paintings. But to get the meaning of them, you could actually use an interactive tool that we've prepared.
There are two tables under the roof of synagogue, and because it's so beautiful and it's so rich in its meaning and its stories, you can explore each panel. You can explore each single element. So it tells you the story. It tells you how to combine the stories and how to combine which element goes with another one. There are some connections between them. So it's very interesting, and we hope that because of the 3D element, we will reach the smaller one, and because of the richness of information and the knowledge, we will reach you. It's family album, another big table. It was created, it's very simple. It has a lot of pictures that are grouped with the subjects, but at the first sight, you have no idea about it. We wanted people to interact in this table, to to cooperate, to tell their stories, their impressions. We wanted them to just to be together, to experience this table. This is table for about for at least 6 people, and you can catch your picture, read about it, and if you would like it, just push it to
share it with another.
Yeah.
Share it with another person.
It's very popular. It's very simple, but it's very attractive.
So while making all the multimedia, all the interactives, we always had two basic questions. What is the subject, and how should we tell about it so that it's not too obvious, that it's engaging and it's interesting. That's why every application that was designed was individually designed. There are no schemes, there are no schematics. Every application was rethought and designed from the scratch by the curators and the creative team of the museum and our creative teams that were working together, and brainstorming on every application to see how to approach every subject. A few examples.
Yeah, it's very Dura. It's interactive about kashrut, the knowledge about laws regarding food, and here we are trying to teach the viewers how to read the original book, just by showing which section is the original page, and after after learning part. We prepared some quiz. This is the quiz. That was some kind of reward or checking. If you were learning properly, check your knowledge. It's also very simple. This is
Another example.
it's an example of the royal cake. You will see in the 5th gallery the huge round table with red chairs around, and this is interactive about.
It puts you in a role of a Jew that tries to live in one of the parts of divided between Russia, Austria, and Prussia, Poland, and to see all the rules and all the obstacles that a Jew had in order to settle in one of the regions. So it's a role-playing game, actually. But by playing this role, you learn the basic rules and the differences that Jews had in one of the 3 regions.
Here is cemetery. There are matzevas. These are very beautiful matzevas that are. It's impossible to see them right now, but
This is another role-playing application, but here you don't play a role of the character from the application. You are rather a restorer or an archaeologist. So you can try by doing a frottage. You restore the matzavas, and then you see what actually was written on them.
We are always wondering what's written there and what does it mean. So here's a great example of explanation, because it gives us an explanation in Polish and English, and it gives us an explanation as a museum word, showing and explaining what, how, and what does it mean. This is a political quiz, Latavy Wyborczy. It's in the sixth gallery. It's just a simple quiz showing, first we are answering 8 questions, 8 very simple questions. For example, Polish Jews should live in Poland on Palestine. And then at the end, after answering these questions, we have, probably you will see it. But there is a summary that is showing all political parties, and depending on how you were answering, yeah.
The application tells you to which party you would belong best.
And then you can explore which party represents what activities and what ideas. This is photo collectors. It's very beautiful, interactive, showing about Ivo Institute, about culture, about history of 20th and 30s in the 20th century. And here is actually as well role playing. We created a Zemmler, a person who is exploring and gathering the cultural objects and all information about language. And with each panel you will choose, you will get more and different information about Ivo and about Zemmlers. At the end there is a reward, but you can check what kind of reward at the core exhibition.
So, since we have to speed up, finish and summarize, the answer to where is the balance between education and entertainment, the answer to it is as simple as really not revealing much, because every application should have a different balance. If you try to put it on the axis, if you think this is the entertainment and this is information, the more entertaining the application is, the less information it can actually contain. And the opposite, if you make it full entertaining application, then there's not really much place for information. Anywhere in between, you play around. If you go outside, basically, then it means it's overloaded and people will not really be able to explore it. And here it's going to be pretty much boring because it's going to be too small and too short. So, in all, basically, every application we believe has to be made to measure, and every subject needs to be taken under consideration individually to see how entertaining and how educative it should be for different users with different levels of experience. Thank you very much.
And one more point. I think that you are very lucky today, because together with us there is Barbara, who was responsible for the core exhibition, the same Arek and Eva. So besides questions to us, you can ask them questions strictly.
Actually, they'll be probably able to answer more questions.
Yeah, it was a great honor to work with them. So please ask them what do you want to ask.